Hey guys, it's Bex, and today I have a life update for you guys. So in general, I'm doing pretty well. A lot of you guys probably know if you've watched me for a while, I have some chronic health conditions. I'm currently going through testing still, and I'm waiting for a couple of in-person appointments now that things are easing again in the UK. So I'm hoping that they will go well, and it does look like I'm going to be able to get a really good referral, which will hopefully give me some diagnosis for some of the things that are going wrong with me. But in general, I'm not doing too bad. This week has been a really bad chronic fatigue week. We've just had a lot going on in my family life. I know I mentioned on my Instagram that we were just going through a lot, and every time I planned to film, stuff went wrong. One of those things was my dog. So my dog got really sick. I will, in one of my last videos, I really went into detail, so I'll just link it. He's doing a lot better, but it's been a few weeks now and he's still not super great. He's lost 2 kilograms in weight, which is really not good. And he's just not himself, like he's not as active, he's very sleepy, very lethargic, a lot of bloating in his stomach, just really not the happiest dog. I'm really glad that today I have a behaviourist appointment for him, just because there's a long story with him and his background, but I'm really glad that I'm going to be able to talk to her and see how we can support him better and just help him to be a happier dog, because he's really not feeling that great right now. He has a lot of anxiety issues, and so the trauma of going to the vets and stuff is obviously affecting him. But also we did get news from our vet that he needed more medication, so he's on antibiotics for a really weird bacteria that he has. They're not really sure what the cause of that was, or if that's what caused him to hemorrhage. They don't really know for sure, but he's going to be on some treatments. He's got a bunch of different other medications to help his stomach, and so we're just going to have to wait and see over the next month what happens. But obviously it's not as scary as when he was literally hemorrhaging, because that was really terrifying and we thought that he might not make it. But now it's still really worrying because it could show signs of a long-term condition. Something else could have been going on that's a little bit more sinister. So it's just not super nice. It's stressful to see him not himself, not putting on weight, just not being as active as he normally is, and just also seeing his anxiety issues and stuff kind of go back downhill again because of all the stuff that's happened to him. And so obviously, because he's a dog and he can't talk, it's on us as owners to take care of him. And so it's been a lot of just stress, but it does look like things are going in the positive direction. I'm looking forward to the Zoom that I have tonight to kind of help him and help me help him. So that's the update on my doggy Winston. We also had just some stuff. My mum managed to injure herself a few weeks ago and she's doing a lot better now, but it's just meant there's been a lot of stuff to do in the home. We do care for one of my elderly relatives, so yeah, it's just been a lot to deal with when there's one person not in the mix helping out. So my fatigue's been kind of bad, probably mixed in with other things, which kind of brings me to my big life update. I didn't really talk about it because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to work out. It was quite a process and I just kind of wanted to keep it low-key. I didn't even tell a lot of people in my real life. But last year, around October time, I started talking to some local ministers about how I felt that I had a call from God to go into ministry. And I knew that God was calling me to serve him for the last few years. I think I talked about it probably in my testimony video, that getting sick and everything, the way that he's led my life and the things that I've done, the more service I've done in church, going to preach, all of that stuff has been his way of leading me into a really special path that he has for me. But during lockdown, there was just a sermon one day and I just felt God saying, you need to think about being a minister. You know, you need to look at training and going into ministry for real. And I didn't want to do it. You know, it's such a terrifying thing to be a minister. I don't feel equipped or prepared for that at all. So I really did put it off. But in October time, I started talking to some people who said, you know, these are really good conversations that you're having. Let me pass you on to the next person. And you kind of go along through a system of different ministers. And I had all these conversations and basically I think from December to kind of March time, I met with a few people who are on the kind of assessment team, I guess. I don't really know what to call it, but They spoke with me a lot, had a good few meetings. I then was just praying about it a lot, and I was just getting a lot of confirmations. And so I believe it was in March that I officially applied to Baptist ministry. The Baptist church is the one that I attend. It's just one that I really like. It's a denomination that I enjoy, and as a minister, it's just a place that I feel comfortable with. I can explain a lot more why I want to go into Baptist ministry later, because I do have a very much of a heart for a non-denominational feel that, you know, it's not about the denomination that you come from, but it's about your belief and your love for Jesus Christ. And so this isn't just like a Baptist platform, but it's just the kind of ministry that I want to go into as a minister, and I can explain that if you guys want to know more. But I applied for Baptist ministry, which meant that I was going to have to fill out a load of application forms. I had to get commended by my church. They had to do a bunch of references. I had to have people watch me do some different things, preaching, leading youth stuff, and report on me. All of that came back and was amazing. The feedback was so good. I'm just so blessed that I had such amazing people to be able to write me references, that my church is fully behind me. From there, I ended up having a huge interview day, and that happened at the beginning of May, and that was really intense. So it was about 4 or 5 hours on Zoom. I did have some breaks in between, but they basically interview you on your faith, your journey as a Christian, your leadership skills, equality. Like, there's so much stuff that they talk to you about. And it's quite an intense grilling of who you are in your faith, because they really need to determine whether you're right for this calling. And then a whole team of people on that call who have met with you, pray about you, talk about you, and they decide whether or not you are approved to go into training for Baptist ministry. And so I found out that I got approved to go into Baptist ministry, and that was huge, because obviously you're being vetted by a bunch of people, but it's just amazing to have the call that you're feeling on your life tested by other people, and then for them to also feel that God is telling them that this is the right call for this person. And so I went through that process, and actually coming up next week I have my interview with the Bible college that I'm going to hopefully be going to, if everything works out. And so basically from September I'm going to be studying for the next 3 years in theology. At the same time I'll be on a placement for 3 years where they'll be monitoring me. And so I really wanted to share this because it's huge news in my faith life and my life in general, because my whole life is going to change. I'm going into a career that is an entire lifestyle. It's not kind of like where I went to the nursery, and of course I'm a Christian when I'm there, but obviously my role is different, whereas being a minister is your whole entire life is living out faith in a different way. I guess it's very upfront, and everyone's kind of looking to you and coming to you for it. Was at work, and people aren't necessarily coming to me for my faith. So yeah, it's going to be a big life change. I'm intimidated, I'm excited to study, but I wanted to share it because I really want to document this journey of me going into ministry, what it's going to be like, training and learning and studying at Bible college, going back at 26. I'm not super old, but I'm also not 18 either, so it'll be fun to share that journey, especially with my health too, what God does in this time. I think it's going to be incredible. I know that He's going to make a way for me to be healthy enough to do it, so I just really want to share this with you guys. It's such exciting news for me. I hope that you guys are excited too, and are excited to see more, and hopefully through my Bible with Bex videos and stuff, you'll just see my knowledge and love for God deepening. I'm hoping it will really show, but at the end of the day, God calls you as you are and equips you, and even if there was no Bible college, if He called me to go and do it, I would go and do it, because I know that He'll equip me. And it's really not about having a degree in theology to really know who God is and to be able to share faith, because we're all called to share faith on whatever platform and on whatever stage of faith we're in, whether it's right at the beginning or you've got a degree or a PhD in theology or you've been a Christian for 50 years. We're all called to share, and God equips all of us. And so this is not going to hopefully become, I really don't want it to become like too difficult or me just talking in a way that no one really understands, because I just want it to be from my heart. But I do hope that you guys see me grow in my faith in this time, because that's all I ever want, is to keep growing. So yeah, I'm really excited to share that with you guys. It's going to be a big change, so I might have videos not coming out and then coming out and stuff like that, because it is going to be quite a big transition for me. I'll let you know exactly what's happening with my life, because I don't know how it's going to work out for travel and all of that kind of stuff at the moment, until I've gone past and I'm actually like given the acceptance at the college, so I'll update you guys about that later. But yeah, that's pretty much the majority of my life updates. Poppy's doing better, but there's still improvements to be made. Family life isn't too bad, my mum is on the mend, and I'm going into Baptist ministry. It's really exciting. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Also, I cut my hair, if anyone noticed. I'm enjoying the shorter hair look. I might go a little bit shorter and a fun colour soon, so keep an eye out for that too. Yeah, that's it. It's just a little life update. Next week, I will be sharing my Rooted unboxing because that came last week, but I knew I wanted to film this video first, and so I'm actually going to film my Rooted box later today or later this week, but that will come out next week, and I'll see you guys hopefully on Sunday for a Bible with Bex. Alright guys, take care, stay blessed, let me know in the comments whatever your thoughts are on all this, and I will see you guys again soon.